Welcome, my friends, to the presentation. I'm going to give you more proof that the term United States in the federal income tax law only applies primarily, the income tax applies only to Washington, D.C. Follow along with me, folks. We're going to start right here first with the fact that you ought to watch this video first on our playlist, who is required to file IRS 1040 forms and pay U.S. income taxes. The short, if you've not watch that first and come to this video. There's also a longer version of that you ought to watch. But let's go to the 1040 form. I covered it before. This is from the irs.gov. The 1040 income tax confession form. It says it called itself U.S. individual income tax return. Again, irs.gov. Okay. The instruction manual tells us on page 8 that on the following requirements that these rules apply to all U.S. citizens, regardless of where they live, and resident aliens. See, it's made for U.S. citizens. Who are these U.S. citizens? You thinking me? I'm one of the 50 states U.S. citizens? Wrong. It does not apply to you, okay? Here we go. We're going to look up the case of Hood versus Allison, which I got here for you already ready to go. Supreme Court case in 1945. And the relevant language, folks, it says United States, you know, it can mean different things, maybe used in one of the several senses. That's right. United States can mean 3 different things. It may be merely the name of the sovereign occupying the position of analogous to that of other sovereigns in the family of nations. Like, for example, Germany, England, France, Italy, China, okay? It may designate the territory over which the sovereignty of the United States extends, and that's the one that the tax laws apply to. Okay, so we're going to go and see that's exactly the case, because under the federal tax law, 26 U.S.C., Title 26, United States Code, Section 7,701 definitions of the Internal Revenue Code, on Chapter 79 definitions, they tell you right there that when used in this title, what title? Title 26, the Internal Revenue Code, the federal tax laws. In this title, they tell you that the term United States, in the geographical sense, includes only the states and the District of Columbia, and the state shall be construed to include D.C., where such construction is necessary to carry out the provisions of this title. So, but then, folks, we're going to see then other sections of the federal tax laws. The United States means different things. Under Section 3121, well, look at this. Definitions, okay? This is a tax on withholding. We're going to go down to 3121 to E. The term state, for the purpose of this chapter, includes, look at that, District of Columbia, Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, Guam, and American Samoa. Yes, several territories added. Look at another code section we got here, folks. Section 6103, confidentiality and disclosure of returns and return information, right? In Title 26, we go down, 6103, okay, to be definitions. For the purposes of this section, look at that. They define the term state to mean any of the 50 states. Look at that. The term 50 states is there. When they want it, they use it, right? The District of Columbia, Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, and a bunch of other territories are listed there and more. But the term 50 states is listed in there specifically because they can. Let's look up another section on oil. Okay, Section 4,612 definitions and special rules for the chapter on tax on petroleum and oil. You scroll down and it tells you that for the purposes of this subchapter only, let's go down, look at that. The term United States means the 50 states. See, there you go again. They use the term 50 states again deliberately. And the District of Columbia, the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, any possession of the United States, the Commonwealth of Northern Mariana Islands, and the Trust Territory of Pacific Islands, and more, folks. Continental Shelf areas are included, also includes foreign trade zones. Wow. Folks, you just saw proof that in the Internal Revenue Code, there are many definitions of the United States. So, when they use that section 7701, A9, and 10, that the term United States and state mean D.C., like I'm going to show you again right here, okay? Here it is, folks, means D.C. It means only D.C. It means only Washington, D.C. This thing applies to Washington, D.C., the federal income tax laws. Certain chapters apply to other places like 50 states. Folks, watch the longer version of this video in the description below and on the card that comes up. I'll go over this even in more detail. But now you know, no doubt in your mind, that yes, United States only means Washington, D.C. for income tax purposes and does not apply to 99% of you who are not citizens and residents of D.C. and do not get federal government money for performing functions of federal public office. Thank you for watching, and please share this with everyone you know and care and love.